So I do want to speak about this situation that Gio Reyna is in. I think that we all know, and it's basically safe to say that Gio Reyna does want to leave Borussia Dortmund. We all know this, right? And the reason why Gio Reyna wants to leave is because he barely gets any playing time. You and me know just how well Gio Reyna is and what his talent and his ceiling is, right? It's extremely high. We know that Gio Reyna can do so much on a professional level and in world-class level. But the fact that Dortmund have not given Gio Reyna the time and the opportunities to really showcase his talents, it's concerning because we want to see probably one of the most talented players ever that America has ever produced. The fact that we can't see that player showcase his talents in Europe, it's very frustrating because we want to see this player develop, and he's still 19 or 20 years old. So for him to develop, the time is now. So recently, Gio Reyna left Wasserman, the Wasserman Group. It was like this agency, and he went to Gesti Food. I guess that's how you pronounce it. It is held by a very well-known agent, which is Jorge Mendes, the exact agent that did take care of the future of Cristiano Ronaldo. And he also does take care of players like Joao Felix and many more. I think Joao Cancelo also, but multiple world-class players. So the fact that Gio Reyna went to this agency is a huge deal because we know what type of agent Jorge Mendes is and where he can bring him to. He'll definitely find some deals. So now the question is this: could we see Gio Reyna leave in January, which is right now, within these next 2 or 3 weeks, or just wait until the summer and just wait for Gio Reyna for these next 4 to 5 months for him to officially move to a different club? I think that most likely we could see Gio Reyna leave like in about 2 or 3 weeks. I strongly think that's possible. There has been many sources coming from Germany, especially from Bild, that has stated that Gio Reyna wants to move in January and he wants to move immediately. And I can see why he wants to move, because he also has to take into consideration that USA, right, America, the US men's national team, they're going to be playing in the Copa America this summer. And of course, you have Greg Berhalter, who is the coach of the U.S. men's national team. He's going to be picking out, okay, who is in my strongest starting 11? Who gets the most playing time? Who has the most rhythm? Who is fit? And Gio Reyna knows he has a point to prove. He needs to go into this Copa America if he does get selected, which I know he will. But if he wants to start in this Copa America and represent the U.S. men's national team, he's going to have to showcase that, yes, I have played in the past 30 games and for a full 90 minutes. Yes, I am fit. Yes, I'm carrying a lot of momentum. So it's important for Gio Reyna to play a lot within these next 4 to 5 months before we go into that summer. And that is why Gio Reyna wants to move in January. And that is why they're forcing a move away from Dortmund. And so it's really crazy to hear this, right? Because one of the reasons why Dortmund have not used Gio Reyna, according to like a bunch of sources, is that, like they were saying that the coach of Dortmund does see Gio Reyna as a great player, but because there's such high competition at Dortmund, that is why he barely sees any playing time. But the thing is that every time Gio Reyna is on the pitch, he does something very effective. So while he does get that chance and he gets those few little minutes, he really does take advantage of that. And so I'm like, okay, if Gio Reyna is being this impactful for these like 10 to 15 minutes that he gets at Dortmund per every 2 or 3 games, why not place him for a full 90-minute match and see what he could do? Because he can definitely bring assists. He can definitely bring goals. You just have to give him the trust. But Dortmund don't see that. Now, according to Sky Sports, they have stated this: Gio Reyna sees himself as a number 10, not as a winger, but he has improved himself in that role. In addition, Edin Terzic, who is one of the men that work at Dortmund, dislikes the fact that he shows defensive weaknesses. As a result, Gio Reyna is considered as a departure candidate. Gio parted ways with his agent, and his father is currently in talks with Sebastian Kiel and Terzic to see what is going on with Gio Reyna, who is his son. Most recently, Martial and Sevilla have expressed interest, but that hasn't been an option for Gio Reyna as of now. So, if you guys were wondering, okay, if Gio Reyna does actually leave, and let's just say that the father can't find a good agreement with the coach, and the coach is saying things that the father doesn't like, and then Gio Reyna says, you know what, I'm going to just follow what my father says and what my agency says. I'm going to be leaving elsewhere. Now the question is, okay, where could he go? And let me tell you, when a player is good when they have so many options, right? It's not like Gio Reyna wants to leave and then he finds himself with like only one club that wants him. Gio Reyna has like 5 to 6 offers. So there has been teams like, yes, Sevilla, like Martial, also Aston Villa, and also a team like Real Sociedad. There's also been like some links about Atletico Madrid wanting Gio Reyna. That would be a dream move. But the one club that is so keen on signing the player, it is Real Sociedad. And let me tell you, if he moves to a club like that, it would be like the perfect match, because knowing his profile, knowing Gio, knowing how he likes to play, he likes playing in tight areas. He's very technical. He likes to make those key passes. In the Spanish league, in La Liga, that is exactly the type of players that they usually like to sign, is to sign these high quality, technical, on the ball type of players. So if he does move to the club, I can see him getting the number 10 role. He is just going to have to work to that spot, because Real Sociedad is also a very good team, very much like Dortmund, and they have done wonders in Europe. But I think that with a team that really relies on a great number 10 and a great creative midfielder, Gio Reyna can definitely find a spot in the starting 11. And I also like the fact that many of these Spanish teams, they do give these young players a chance, because Gio Reyna is still 19 or 20 years old. They would definitely give him some chances. We also have to take into consideration that La Liga is a league, right, that they have a bunch of clubs that do have a certain limit on how much they could spend per transfer window. They're not clubs, right? They're not like the Premier League, where they can just buy a bunch of players for like 50, 60, 80, 100 million euros every transfer window. When they sign a player, they stick to that player, and they usually have a player that came in for cheap. Gio Reyna is going to be coming in probably for 25 million, which would be a steal. Someone's going to get a steal here. Some club, whoever signs him, is going to get a steal deal. One hell of a deal for Gio Reyna, because I know what type of player he could become. So Real Sociedad are going to be paying 25 million euros for probably a player like Gio Reyna. It's not a lot in the eyes of La Liga, because they have restrictions, and they're going to stick to him, because it's not like in the next summer, the summer that's coming up, Real Sociedad signed a player that's worth 80 to 85 million euros, and he's a central midfielder. That's not going to happen. So there's definitely continuity and longevity for Gio in the Spanish league. And so the main goal is for Gio to have more playing time, and for a good while, for these next like 3 to 4 years. He needs a lot, and make up for the lack of minutes he has been getting since his arrival 2 or 3 years ago at Dortmund. And we also have to remember that Dortmund are going to be signing Sancho. Sancho is already back at Dortmund, and that's definitely not going to be helping Gio Reyna's situation. So it's only getting worse at the club, and that is why he wants to leave as soon as possible. So I don't know if Real Sociedad are going to be like signing the player outright, right, permanent transfer in this January transfer window, or it's going to be like a loan in the January transfer window up until June 2024, and then sign him permanently for 25 million euros. We have to wait and see on the details on that, because we don't know yet. So let me know in the comment sections down below, where do you see Gio Reyna going? Or where would you like him to go? Would you like him to go to the Premier League, La Liga, the French League, or which club, right? Let me know in the comment sections down below, because it's a very important topic. We're talking about one of our most talented players ever here in the US that has ever been embraced in Europe. And it's a huge deal. And, you know, like, or maybe you guys think something different. Maybe you guys just don't want him to leave, and you want him to prove himself at Borussia Dortmund for these next 6 months in order for him to sign a contract renewal in the summer. Maybe you are one of those people. I would definitely not go for that route. I would definitely want to see Gio Reyna go to a different club and just to restart his career. It happens, right? McKennie went to Juventus, and it restarted his whole career. Christian Pulisic went to AC Milan, and it restarted his whole career. They turned their careers around. So it's never too late. Gio Reyna can do the exact same thing. The only thing that I don't want Gio Reyna to do is to go to Leeds. Please don't. We don't want him to go to Leeds. And now that I think about it, I would also not want to. I don't want to see Gio Reyna at Sevilla either, because I'm looking at Sevilla right now. They're like in the bottom 3 to 4 in the league, so there's a chance that they might get relegated. And so, can you imagine Gio Reyna going to Sevilla and they get relegated, and now he's in second division? But we'll see. All of the eyes are going to be on Gio Reyna for these next 2 or 3 weeks. That is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.